Get ready to raise your energy and have some fun as we focus on the topics and ask the questions that shine a light on what it takes to practice being spiritual. Welcome to Speaking of Healing. I'm your host, Dorian Lynn. I'm an RN, holistic wellness coach, Reiki master healer, aromatherapy consultant, and creator of the bioenergy aromatherapy method of healing. I like to help people learn to use the language of energy so that they can rise up and connect with spirit for a higher level of health and well-being. So I came across this quote. If I died and went straight to hell, it would take me at least a week to realize I wasn't at work anymore. How sad is that? And you know what's even sadder is most of us, if not all of us, I'm guessing, have thought that and felt that at one point or another. I know I have, and I'm sure you have too. So today I'm going to talk to you about 9 signs that your job, your work-related stress is blocking your chakras. We're going to discover the chakras being affected by your stress at work. I'm going to give you some things to try to help regain a sense of peace. And I'm going to wrap up with a funny quiz. So, stick around. All right. So, I want to start out with something that I'm calling social media crazies. So I'm in this Facebook group, right? This group has thousands and thousands of people in it from all over the world. And it's a group basically about, it's supposed to be about energy healing and helping people with their emotional issues. And there was some guy the other day, I don't know where he was from, but he was just venting. I mean, he had a bad day. He had a bad day at work. Then it started to affect him and he got a headache. So, his physical is now affected. He went home with the headache after having a crappy day and, of course, took it out on his family. And then his relationships were in turmoil. And, I mean, the poor guy, he was just venting and posting to a bunch of strangers. And why do you think he's doing that, right? He's just looking for a little support, a little, "Aw, baby, you had a poor day, sorry, we've all been there, tomorrow might be better." Just a little human compassion, right? No, that's not what he gets. The very first comment that somebody posts under this guy's little, venting post is solar flares. It's all due to solar flares that are going on right now. End of comment. Like, no explanation, no compassion, no, why don't you try this? No. All he gets is solar flares. And I just thought, that is not helpful whatsoever. Like, I just hit my camera. I mean, if you're going to post something, be supportive, especially in a group like that. So today, what I want to do, I don't want to throw out things like solar flares at you. Today we're going to look at whether or not work-related stress can be alleviated with self-treatment. Now, speaking of not being very helpful, I'm going to tell you a story about this manager that I had. And she was my first manager right out of college. And she was very into Tony Robbins. I mean, she was a huge Tony Robbins fan. Now, if you don't know, Tony Robbins is all about self-development and healing and relationships and, working it out. She used to come into work every morning, get there before everybody else, lock herself in her office, literally lock herself in her office, and we would hear her in there listening to Tony Robbins tapes. And you would think somebody who spends an hour every morning listening to Tony Robbins would come out of their office being like, yeah, I am going to be like this massively effective, motivational, supportive leader. No. That's not the way she was. The way she was, let's just say I spent 2 years there being referred to by her as her little white girl. Now, she didn't just refer to me like that in private. No, she referred to me like that to other people around me, people that I had to work with, other people that I had to report to. I mean, it was, and I wasn't the only one. She took her nastiness out on a lot of people, but I seemed to bear the brunt of it because I was her direct assistant. So I had to be in her face. I was up her nose all day, every day. And if you're going to listen to Tony Robbins, don't come out and 2 seconds later refer to your assistant as your little white girl. That is not very spiritual of you. That's not cool. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had to deal with people who have created and contributed to toxic work environments like that. So I just want to let you know that I've been there, and the things that I'm going to suggest to you, I didn't think about them lightly, okay? Because I really want to help you with this. And I know a lot of you are feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. I mean, the Great Resignation of last year, a lot of places are short-staffed. I mean, how bad is the situation when you go up to a store or a restaurant and there's a sign on the door that says, please be kind to the people that bothered to show up today. We're short-staffed. I mean, do you really have to tell people to be kind to the people that are there? I guess you do. And that's a horrible state of affairs and a commentary on the way society is. I mean, whatever happened to just being patient and, being kind? And no, I guess now you have to purposely tell people, hey, there's not a lot of people working here today, so, be cool with the ones that are. I don't know. So for the ones that have showed up, I'm sure you're feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and you're having to overachieve. Even if you weren't overachievers before, you're kind of being forced into that situation, right? You're putting in long hours, taking on more than you could probably handle, and feeling like you have to do it all. And that's probably because in reality, you might have to do it all. You might be doing the job of 2 or 3 people. So, I mean, does this sound like you? Well, if it does, you're probably experiencing some or all of these 9 signs and symptoms that I'm going to list for you. And there's also a very good chance that your energy system is imbalanced and you need to make some changes. I keep moving my camera. Sorry about that, guys. So let's go over the 9 things. Number 1 is a lack of physical or mental energy. I'm sure we could all say we have that to some degree. Number 2 is insomnia. 3, physical symptoms, just like the guy in that Facebook group. Number 4, anxiety, depression, or anger. A loss of enjoyment, pessimism, detachment, increased irritability, and a lack of productivity and poor performance, which might not even be on purpose. I mean, you just might be so worn out that you can't perform at the level you really would like to. So now, depending on how many of these signs and symptoms you relate to, you might need to restore balance to one or more of particularly your lower chakras, which include the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. So let's do good news, bad news, okay? Good news is that you can change the flow of energy in your body to feel better. But the bad news is your job isn't the only reason why you feel the way you do. Now, I came across some research, right? These researchers, they wrote an article. And in this article, the general gist is they want you to believe that the signs and the symptoms, some of which I just listed for you, of work-related chronic stress, aka burnout, they can't be healed with self-treatment. They say that the issues that you're having at work in this toxic workplace are the root cause of the stress you're experiencing, and that you cannot, quote unquote, rest your way out of it. So in other words, they think the only way to alleviate the symptoms is to fix whatever's going on at work. Okay. Respectfully, I'm going to disagree with this idea for 3 reasons. Okay. Number 1, it assumes that there's only one kind of rest, which is physical rest. Number 2, it also assumes that the work is the root cause of how you're feeling. And number 3, it takes the power of healing away from you. I propose looking at rest in terms of taking the time to calm your mind. Resting your mind gives you the ability to shift your energy and relax. Developing a habit of resting the mind is an effective form of self-treatment for stress that can have a major impact on your health and overall well-being. Now, when somebody says to you, it's all in your mind, oh my God, well, how does that make you feel? Right? You get very defensive and you feel very resistant to change. And I get it. I really do, because I've been there. But hang on with me for a minute. I'm going to try to be gentle here. What I'm suggesting is that your stress level is something you're choosing, hang on, based on what you think the reality of your work situation is. So in other words, the stress you feel is beginning with your mind's reaction to what's going on in your environment. Somewhere in your thought patterns that you've been creating over your entire life, you've developed thinking habits, whether they're good or bad, that are triggering chemical processes in your body, including the stress response, which oddly enough begins in your brain. And there's a lot of sciencey evidence to back all this up. And I'm going to actually put a link to a past blog post of mine that really goes into depth about this. I'm going to put it in the show notes. So basically, your work environment is causing you to think certain things, which is shifting and blocking the energy of your chakras, which is ultimately creating stressful feelings in your body. It's a cascading type of effect. So the root cause is not just your job, it's your thoughts. So I'm not suggesting that your job isn't the reason for your stress. It very well may be. What I'm saying is don't let it become an excuse to stay stressed. And that's an important difference to make. And that's actually really good news, because if you can't change your job or the things that go on there, at least you can change your thoughts and feelings about it. Like with the manager I had, there was no way I could change the things that were going on. It was impossible. So I had to find a way to deal with it. So now let's dive into the struggle for control. Focusing on the outside causes of your discomfort and your suffering and placing the blame on them for your situation at work is like saying your job is this huge, monumental thing that has the ability to make you feel lousy day after day after day, when in fact, you are much more powerful and in complete control of your emotions and how you think. Your stress level is the energetic manifestation of your thoughts and feelings about three things: yourself, your job, and your place within your particular work environment. And all of that thought energy is in your mind. And the feelings that are being generated from those thoughts are energies that are found in your three lower chakras. Your job isn't continuing to drain your energy. You're doing it to yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. And believe me, I understand that that's a hard pill to swallow. It feels so wrong and so incredibly unfair. But in a tough work environment, we need to learn how to spiritually rise up to a higher level, shift and protect our energy, and take control of how we feel throughout and until the end of the day. So it's time to stop beating yourself up. It's time to stop stressing yourself out. And now let's talk about which chakras are being affected by your stress at work and some things you can try to regain a sense of balance and peace. So your first chakra, your root chakra, is your energy center for positivity, trust, fairness, and a sense of belonging. So you might need to balance your root chakra if these four things are going on for you. If you have a habit of seeing the glass as half empty, if you don't trust your coworkers, if you feel a sense of unfairness in the workplace, or if you feel you don't get the praise and recognition you deserve. Those are all root chakra issues. Your sacral chakra is your energy center for creativity, flexibility, and relationships. So you might need to balance your sacral chakra if you feel micromanaged, if you feel your creativity and ability to think differently about what works and what needs to be done is being squashed, or if you feel alone because you don't have someone or a group of people at work to turn to when you need support and understanding. Your solar plexus chakra is your energy center for self-esteem, independence, and meaning. So you might need to balance your solar plexus chakra if you feel pressure to perform and it's causing you your perfectionist tendencies to just run amok. If you're experiencing a loss of independence to make decisions that directly affect you. If you feel like you're not making an impact, or if you feel like your job has no meaning. So, now that we have a better idea of which chakras might need attention, let's talk about what we can try to rest our minds and restore our energies. There's a little prayer I want to read to you. It might be a good way to start the day. Dear Lord, so far today I've done all right. I haven't gossiped and I haven't lost my temper. I haven't been grumpy, nasty, or selfish, and I'm really glad of that. But in a few minutes, Lord, I'm going to get out of bed, and from then on, I'm probably going to need a lot of help. Thank you. Amen. So, yeah, let's get started. What can you do before you even leave the house? Well, let's think about the beginning of the day, right? It's a time for prep. You're waking up, you're cleaning yourself up, you're getting dressed up. Everything we're doing is up. Our energy is shifting, it's lifting, and we're shaking off our sleepiness, and we're becoming fully alert. We've all got morning rituals that we follow. But how many of us really think about protecting our energy before we head out the door? It took me a long, long time to remember even to work this into my daily routine. But protecting your energy is something quick and easy that you can do to guard against lower negative energies, such as difficult experiences that you might encounter throughout the day. So here are a few things you can do before you race out the door. Number 1, you can stop a few moments and speak out loud. This is important. You have to speak them out loud. Personal affirmations of inner divine protection. Say them with confidence and certainty. So whatever works for you, that's what you're going to say out loud. Or you can visualize, if you're more of a visual person. Visualize a shell of divine light surrounding you that nothing can penetrate. Some people refer to this as an egg of light. Just picture yourself totally surrounded by a hard shell above your head, around your body, under your feet, that absolutely nothing can penetrate. Number 3, you can choose to wear protective and soothing essential oil blends for the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras. And also in the show notes, I'll give you some of those. Okay, so now we've taken care of before we've left the house. Now, what do we do when we're at work? Well, okay, we're all human. We all feel stress. But how we handle it is what helps us either get through it or stay stuck in it. And we don't want to stay stuck in it at work. So a couple things, easy things we can do. And they sound minor and trivial, but believe me when I tell you they work. Okay, number 1 is breathe. You're going to say, really? Really? That's your advice? Breathe? Yes, that's my advice. Just stop, stay still. You don't even need to close your eyes, and concentrate on your breath. You feel it coming in and going out. And the important thing to do here is to focus your attention on where you feel it in your body. Gradually take deeper and slower breaths until you feel better, or as long as your work situation allows you to. Even if it's just a few slow, deep breaths, you're going to feel better. But really, try working your way up to 15 minutes if you can. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, walk. Even a comfortable stroll on a work break for 10 or 15 minutes can promote a sense of relaxation. And while you're at it, remember to do a few quick shoulder rolls. Shoulder rolls. Number 3, take a stone friend with you to work. A stone friend? What the heck are you talking about? A crystal. Take a crystal with you. A good one is black tourmaline. That's a good one. All you have to do is tuck it into your pocket, and it'll help with your root chakra, help you stay present, grounded, and it'll help block negativity in your workplace. There's lots of crystals to choose from that are perfectly suited for this purpose. But I would say start with black tourmaline. That's probably a good place to start. Okay. Number 3, apply a few drops of relaxing essential oil to your palm and rub your hands together. Then cup your hands over your face and inhale. And if you don't want to walk around with this aroma on you, just place a few drops on a tissue, wave it in front of you, and breathe it in that way. Lavender essential oil is the first that comes to mind, but there are many, many, many more. Okay, now we're up to the end of the day. We've protected our energy before we left the house. We've discovered some things we can do to help balance ourselves when we're at work. And now we've made it through another day. We can take all the time we want to shift our focus into practices and rituals that balance our chakras to promote relaxation, self-love, gratitude, and connection with spirit. So here are some really good things you can try. Number 1, this is probably my favorite thing to do. Take a bath or a shower with essential oils that soothe the mind and balance the energies of your lower chakras. For the root chakra, if that's some place where you need to focus, sandalwood is very good. For the sacral chakra, clary sage. And for the solar plexus, try orange. You can also take 5 minutes to start a meditation practice and then gradually work your way up in time. Try to get to like 20 minutes. Some people do 30, even 40, but that can be pretty intense. So I would say just start with 5, see how much you can do. It's basically a spiritual practice that helps you gain a clear and accurate way of seeing things and helps connect your energy to the energy source of all that is, the creator of the universe. And in particular, chakra meditation is very good for this purpose. You can also treat yourself to a Reiki session. Reiki is very relaxing, very healing, helps restore the flow of energy. But why don't you really have fun just creating your own personal habits and rituals? And make sure they express love for yourself and gratitude for all that you are, you wonderful being you, and all that you have, including your job. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I promised you a funny quiz. All right, so let's do the quiz. This is a short quiz. It consists of 4 questions and tells whether or not you would be a qualified manager. And the questions aren't that difficult. Number 1, how do you put a giraffe into a refrigerator? This question is going to test whether you tend to do simple things in an overly complicated way. So how do you put a giraffe in a refrigerator? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, the correct answer is you open the refrigerator, you put the giraffe in, and you close the door. Number 2, how do you put an elephant into a refrigerator? This is going to test your ability to think through the repercussions of your actions. How do you put an elephant into a refrigerator? The wrong answer is open the refrigerator, put in the elephant, and close the refrigerator. That is not the right answer. Actually, the right answer is you open the refrigerator, you take out the giraffe, you put in the elephant, and you close the door. Number 3. This is going to test your memory. You're going to love this. The Lion King is hosting an animal conference, and all the animals attend except one. Which animal does not attend? The correct answer? The elephant. Why? Because the elephant's in the refrigerator. Okay, even if you didn't answer the first 3 questions correctly, you still have one more chance to show your abilities. So, here it is. Number 4. This is going to test whether you learn quickly from your mistakes. There's a river you have to cross, but it's inhabited by crocodiles. How do you manage it? Okay, people. How are you going to get across the river of crocodiles? I'll give you a second. I'll give you another second. Okay, the correct answer, you swim across. All the crocodiles are attending the animal meeting. Oh, so this quiz is courtesy of Anderson Consulting Worldwide. And the statistics they give on this, they say around 90% of the professionals they tested got all the questions wrong. But many little preschoolers got several correct answers. They say this conclusively disproves the theory that most management consultants have the brains of a 4-year-old. They don't even have that level of achievement. All right, folks, wanted to leave you with a smile on your face. Thanks again for listening. If you want to sign up for the show notes, go to dorianlynn.com/pages/newsletter. If you need to contact me, you can contact me at contact@dorianlynn.com. I also have a live chat on my website, dorianlynn.com. And I hope you have a very blessed, magical, and a less stressful workday, and a happier tomorrow.